Hello, I am Karen Kushner, and it is a blessing to speak with you right here and right now. And as always, I would like to begin with affirmative prayer, something that we call spiritual mind treatment, to distinguish it from all other forms of prayer. And just as an aside, all forms of prayer work. So let's get clearer about a particular form of prayer that works in kind of the way that we would like it to work. So, this word is being spoken for each one. There is only one life. That life is God's life. And that life is good, all good. It is something that is infinite, that is everywhere present, and that is somehow an intelligence beyond any human understanding. Because this intelligence is creating this entire universe and everything in it, and all that is created is moving in relationship with everything else in a way that is always harmonious, where everything is in its perfect place to expand and become more of an expression of itself. And so, recognizing now this intelligence, it is recognized that it has a way, a creative process, a way of creating all that is, that can be understood and consciously used by each and every one. I know that through this particular talk right here and right now, each one receives an understanding, a wisdom, a guidance, an answer, a revelation of truth that enables him or her to know the good that is always present and can experience this good in a conscious, practical way to create a more enjoyable experience of living. I am grateful that this is a good purpose, and that all of life, all of this infinite mind, all of this universe is in agreement with each one experiencing a more harmonious, healthy, happy, joyous, more fully supported, and more deeply loving experience of living than ever before. I am grateful for this truth. I release this word to God's loving law, grateful that it is done, and so it is. So, today, I want to talk about the creative process, that so that we can use it in a more effective, intelligent, wise, as well as loving and joyous way. It certainly is the information that you may already have seen revealed in The Secret. People may have heard of it as the law of attraction. I intend and hope to go a little bit deeper so that you get more value out of understanding what's operating. The creative process is quite simple. It is done unto us as we believe. So what we are understanding is that what we believe, what we think, what we feel, all those aspects, believing, thinking, feeling, are all aspects of a mind, of what I would call a consciousness. My consciousness is what I believe, what I think, what I feel, my reactions, what I understand, what I accept, what I expect. And that includes all the positives as well as all of the negatives. And so my experience of life, or what the law, the infinite law of God is doing, is taking what I believe and bringing more of the same to me. It is attracted to me like a magnet. And my inner magnet is telling the law, bring to me more of what I am thinking, feeling, believing. Well, that's great. We don't even have to do anything about that. That's the default. In other words, the infinite mind of God, its creative law has got to always be creating something. And if we do not give it any instructions, it has to create something for each of us. And it will create, by default, whatever we are most thinking about, feeling, looking at, focusing on. If I like to read murder mysteries, then more murder mysteries are attracted to me. I say that with a little bit of, because I do like to read murder mysteries. Funny ones, though. I don't know if that helps. But what we focus on expands. So the creative process is not our doing. We have to understand that. The divine is creating because it's creating this entire universe and it cannot stop creating. And it's creating us, and so it's creating our world. And if we do not give it an instruction, consciously choosing, it will still create. So what we need to get over, first of all, is what was my particular problem when I first became aware of this. I thought, how dare I tell God what to create for me? And so I backed away from choosing what I would like the law of God to create. What I didn't understand back then is that law is creating my world based upon my unconscious choosing. That the law is using my beliefs, whether I'm aware of it or not, to create my world. And so to consciously choose a belief that will be created in my world is not a new thing to the law of creation. The law of creation is listening and obeying my unconscious direction. And they're really, to say, oh, I just let God create it is really saying, let the law or let God create what I'm just unconsciously thinking, believing, without any awareness, without any choice, and with no wisdom, and maybe no love, maybe no joy, maybe nothing healthy. Create just the flotsam and jetsam of what I've been seeing around me in the world. It may seem like we are not taking responsibility, let God do it, but what we're actually doing is we are responsible for what the law is doing. Just like with any other natural physical law, gravity, whether I'm aware of it or not, it's pulling what I don't hold up to the earth. And so if I'm unaware and I just throw my legs and body and weight around any old way, at times I'll fall and hurt myself, and at other times I'll be held upright. But we're aware of gravity, and so we direct the use of gravity responsibly so that we maintain our posture, so that we are in balance, and so we do not fall down. It's no difference with the creative law of mind. No difference whatsoever. So, having said that, I hope that you have a little bit more permission to choose, because what we want to talk about is the creative process. And the creative process is very simple. It is done unto us as we believe, but let's break it down into its three different points of how it operates, because it's all one. It's all one. It is done unto us as we believe. It cannot be separated, but to understand, we want to separate it. So there is, for us, a conscious mind that can choose, that moves through a law, or what we could call unconscious mind, or subjective mind, or soul, or law. So my choice thought moves through this law, which then creates into my reality that which I had been thinking. Now, at the God level, spirit, I am that I am. That's that top level, which is for us is our conscious mind. What I know I am, God says, let there be light. Brrr, the law operated on it, and instantaneously, boom, there was the fact, the form, the demonstration, the created thing, light. Let there be creepy crawly things, brrr, invisibly. The law obeyed instantaneously. And there were all the creepy crawly things, facts, creatures, living things here on this planet. That law is where I'm separating it out here. I'm saying like there's a funnel of infinite possibilities, of choices made, and the law invisibly and automatically and instantaneously creates it. And there it is, the thing. So it begins with what is thought consciously by us. The divine says, I am that I am, and it all is. We replicate what spirit is doing whenever we say, I am. I am smart, I am funny, I am silly, I am a woman, I am a man, I am non-binary, I am happy, I am sad. But the thing is, the law obeys our statements, our thoughts, and immediately, instantaneously starts creating them in our world. So if I were to say, I am happy, I am happy, I am happy, I am happy, if I were to say that 100 times, I would notice as I was repeating it that happier thoughts were coming into my mind and I was actually feeling happier. Practice that with a positive statement, not a negative statement. But some of us, right, start saying, I am angry, not going to go there. And then we notice we get and feel more and more anger. And if we were to continue that, we will notice that happier things start happening into our lives, are drawn to us, or we notice them, or angrier things are drawn into our life, or we find more thoughts, more reasons why to feel that anger. When I say we have this ability to say, I am happy, or whatever, and the law obeys what we are saying, what we want to understand with this part of us called spirit, conscious mind, is we don't have to use the words, I am. The law of creation in us assumes that everything we say and everything we think has the words, I am, at the beginning. So if I were to say out loud to my friends, that particular store gave me a creepy feeling, the law is hearing, I am that creepy store giving me that uncomfortable feeling. Well, forever after, that particular store will give me a creepy feeling, but the law is also not particularizing so much that statement. So that creepy feelings are included. In other words, the law could be hearing, I am that creepy feeling. I am being given something from a store, from something outside of me. In other words, in that simple statement, that store is giving me a creepy feeling. The law is hearing all of it, not as a total, but also in its pieces. So it's hearing that store is giving me a creepy feeling, so I'm never going to that store again. It's also hearing, I am creepy feeling. And in other words, the law is hearing, I believe in the existence of creepy feelings. And so I may get them here, there, or everywhere. And the other thing that it's hearing, which is even more subtle, is that store is giving me, that store outside of me is giving me, the law is hearing the belief that something outside of me can affect me, give me a feeling that I like or that I don't like. The law is hearing, I am a victim of something outside of me. I just called it the store. But the law takes what we say and doesn't assume that we only mean it in that little event. It's saying that is our I am, our identity, our identity. I don't want to keep saying that store is giving me a creepy feeling, because I want to be able to enter that store again if it is, I am guided there, if they have something I want. I also want to be able to walk around on the planet feeling the feelings that I am safe, that I am loved, that the world is a friendly place. And I also want to be able to walk around this planet going, no, 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 no. I have choice. I am empowered to choose my experience so that I can walk among the wisest and the most loving, and I can walk among the less wise and the less loving and not be disturbed within me. So that normal statement that I know I just said several times yesterday in speaking with friends of mine, the law is hearing all of it. It's paying so much attention. And so back to what I said at the beginning, if you've got that fear of how dare I tell the law what to create for me, did you realize when you said that store is giving me a creepy feeling that we were telling the law what to create for us? The spirit of the creative process, or that which starts the creative process in motion, or that which tells the law to what to create, is our thoughts, whether we speak them out loud or think them, and whether we're aware of whether the law is going to operate it or not and create more of it for us or not, or whether we're not aware. So whether we are aware of it or not, we are always directing the law with our conscious mind, the spirit of our being. At the level of God, it is I am, and all that goes with it. And at the level of our human experience, we are created in the image and likeness of God, and we are given that gift of declaring our identity, our I amness. We cannot make it go away. We could say, like me, oh, how dare I claim I am. I am not God to my world. Well, whether you like it or not, the law is taking everything you think consciously and obeying and drawing conclusions that we might not have intended, just like I described in that example. I certainly didn't intend to perpetuate an experience where I have creepy feelings here and there. I never meant that. I didn't. Why? Because I didn't think that it mattered. I was busy describing an experience to friends who were interested. And it was kind of a weird experience. I didn't think that the law was listening to my factual description of an experience. I didn't think it mattered. I didn't think it would affect the rest of my life in any way. And I was wrong. And that's what we need to understand. Like it or not, aware of it or not, there is to God and its law no big or small. To the divine thinker, nothing we think is unimportant. Nothing that we think is insignificant. And so we want to get that every thought matters. And spirit, it's a conscious thought. Our conscious thoughts can be changed. So now that I'm aware of what I did, and did a whole lot more in speaking with you, what I did was add to my beliefs something that I do not want to experience. Aha! All right, I didn't mean that. I mean that. Some people like to, when they realize this, go cancel, cancel. Do it. That's fine. And in addition to the no, 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 I didn't mean that, we still want to give the law instructions because it's got to create something. It cannot create something out of cancel, cancel. There's nothing there. It cannot create a no. No. What does that look like? I don't even can't imagine. But yes, yes to what? So in conscious choice, I'm using my level of spirit to consciously choose something extra. I now claim everywhere I go, I meet harmony, love, and enjoy my life completely. Well, I can't talk about that store anymore because it confuses me. And I don't want to give the law confusion, which is what it mostly hears from us, right? We do our spiritual work and we claim, I am life, I am love, the world is a friendly place, I am joy, and that card just cut me off. And the law goes, huh? All right. So we get a mix, right? We, in our spiritual journeys, move in our choices to improved and better choices. And by that I mean choices that bring to us the experience of living that we desire. More harmony, more wisdom, more love, more joy. And as we move in our better choices, we still have, right, that unconscious, those unconscious beliefs of the negative, of the being a victim, of that one did this and that one did that, and you know, in our description of our experience to our friends and our loved ones, and in our little post on the internet, we're still reiterating something that we don't want to experience. And so what the law does with this, since we are infinite beings, and it's creating our entire world, our environment, all our relationships, what it does, let's say 70% of the time, we're choosing the good, the beautiful, the true. We are thinking on those things. So in doing that, the law is obeying and creating that for us 70% of our world. 70% of my kitchen is the good, the beautiful, and the true. And what is in the other 30%? those unconscious, going along with the way the world thinks type of, I don't think it's important thoughts, those unconscious, random thoughts that I have, those reading of magazines, the watching of something in the news, in a particular favorite show, and it shows up in my world as little cracks or little things stopping working or little concerns. And so we have an experience of a mix of the good and the beautiful and the true, and what Emma Curtis Hopkins might call the ignorant, the foolish, the wrongdoing, and maybe even the stupidity. Because it's not intelligent, I'll admit, it's not intelligent to say the sort of thing that I said about the store, I'm not going to say it anymore, if I fully know and realize I'm going to have more of that experience created for me, and not just with stores, but in my kitchen, in my car, in my relationships, in my money, in my body, in my cells. So, the creative process for us begins with what we consciously choose. And when we are not consciously choosing, what we are conscious of, what we are aware of, what we are focusing on, what we are looking at, what we are listening to. And if our feelings are activated in what we are talking about or what we are looking at, it's as if it's thicker thoughts, more powerful, more weighty thoughts, so that we have the experience in our human world of people who have been in a horrific event. And that memory of that horrific event for them is deeply stuck in the beliefs. And so they have this experience, which is now called, right, post-traumatic stress disorder. Well, what is that? It is the law bringing up, recreating that event in their imagination, in their mind. And it's rooted there and it's stuck there and it keeps coming back. And so that's an extreme example. But in lesser examples, you have an angry argument with someone. You have paying a lot of attention to what the stock market is doing and your retirement account is doing, and you feel a whole lot of fear rising up in you. So these are things that happened as being a human being, and what we want to realize consciously is the law listens. And the emotion that sometimes is attached to our thoughts is an indication that we've been believing in those thoughts in a deeper way. And sometimes what we believe is we believe we can't get past. However, conscious thought is more powerful than the sum total of the unconscious thoughts, no matter how dramatic, no matter how emotionally charged, and no matter how long we may have believed in them and experienced them. Conscious thought is the only aspect of our human nature that can change our experience of life. It's the Spirit of God, our conscious thought that we are aware of and have chosen, that is the highest level of our thinking faculty, and it rules all of those thoughts and beliefs that we just absorbed from the world, from watching movies and our favorite series program, as well as the full sum total of our personal experiences, and oh boy, even the full sum beliefs and experiences of all our ancestors. Conscious thought, here, now, overrules it all. And so when we realize, oops, better not say that about stores anymore, we may have to do a lot of conscious choosing of the new idea that the world is a friendly place, and wherever I go, I am met with love and I am enjoying my life completely. Karen will have to be choosing that conscious thought every time I go out, every time I go into any kind of store. From now on, if I want to cement in me a different belief that is opposite to those set of beliefs that I had when I made that first little statement. Do you understand? It's not just one conscious thought. It's one conscious thought that we choose to think and say forever after. Say you have depression. I get it. Human beings, life, blah, blah, blah. I choose. I am happy. That's my conscious choice. And I have to choose. I am happy when I wake up. I have to choose, I am happy when a friend is mad at me. I have to choose, I am happy when I feel lousy. I have to choose, I am happy when I'm starting a new activity. I have to choose, I am happy when I'm bored. I have to choose, I am happy, I am happy, I am happy, I am happy for the rest of my life. If I want the law to begin creating for me happier and happier experiences. Say I'm depressed, maybe 25% of my belief is happy, 75% is unhappy. Think of it as you're raising your percentage of agreement with happy to unhappy, choice by choice, even though it's the same choice. So I am happy, I'm happy. All those I am happies right now, let's say it raised me from 35% happy to 35.1. Boy, negligible. Why bother? The 75% of unhappy is saying to us. But the thing is, if we persist with that choice of conscious mind, that 35.1 becomes 35.2. And if I were to do this day after day after day, it starts gathering momentum. And do you realize 35 to 50.1 is 15.1 difference? I haven't done the math, but if it's 0.1 a day, I can raise it. How many days would it take for me to get to 50.1? You do the math. But the thing is, it's not that far away. It's not that hard. And once you have reached a majority, 50.1, it gets easier. It gets easier to say, I am happy, and this is happy, and I'm happy with my cell phone, and I'm happy with my tea in my little snowman teacup, even though it's well past snow time. I am happy, I am happy. And we find more and more reasons, and we notice that what starts happening is the idea to think and choose I am happy becomes it starts reminding us to think that. Whereas when we're beginning at 35, we have to remind ourselves consciously, because those 75% of unhappy thoughts are what is, they keep reminding us. We look at our phone and we go, ugh, I don't have the most up-to-date one, or it's not working the best. The 75% of I am unhappy reminds us more than the reminders of I am happy. But when we get to 50.1, more of the reminders of our beliefs that rise up in us will be happy. And so it gets easier. And so it's worth the effort to use our conscious mind, to use that spirit level of God, to claim our I am, to redirect the law from creating what we never meant, what we never intended. And if we think about, we will agree, God, the Creator, never wanted human beings to believe in hurt, in harm, in unhappiness, in being a victim. Why would God want us to believe that, when the other element of spirit is the qualities of our being, our essence? And those qualities are life, light, love, power, peace, beauty, harmony, joy, order, abundance, good. The list of the divine's goodness is infinite. The good, the beautiful, the true. The divine wants us to bring its nature, which is our nature, into our conscious choices, our awareness, and thereby experience it in our world. There we go. Let me do another spiritual mind treatment. This form of affirmative prayer is a conscious choice prayer. It is an attempt, a tool, a method to identify the spirit essence of our being, of God, to claim it as true for ourselves, which it is, but to consciously claim it as true for ourselves and declare that that which God is, I am. And therefore, that which God is and I am is in my world. 3 steps of treatment. God is. We have to speak a spiritual truth of what God is. Step 2, I am. Another spiritual truth, but we don't quite believe it yet. And so we are consciously choosing it. We're at the level of spirit. And therefore, it must be what is in, it must be what is created by the law that obeys these words in my world. Simple spiritual mind treatment for anyone. God is, fill in the blank, I am, whatever you said about God, therefore that, whatever you said, is now in my world. Simple example, God is love. I am love. Therefore, love is present in my world, and we do get to be a little bit directive here. Love is present in every relationship. It's all spiritual truth. It may not be the facts, but we're working with a law that obeys. And maybe our facts are being created out of that 75% of yuck, and only our 35% of harmony. But with every spiritual mind treatment, we are increasing the 35% of love into a greater belief in us. Do you understand? Okay, let me do a spiritual mind treatment. This word is being spoken for each one. There is a divine I am that I am. It is love, harmony, and it is wisdom and intelligence. Each one is that love, harmony, wisdom, and intelligence. And so these qualities are now manifesting in each one's world, everywhere, in a greater way than ever before. Each one is seeing and believing and experiencing more love, harmony, wisdom, and intelligence everywhere in their world than ever before. I give this truth, this directive to the creative law, which creates it now for each one. It is done, yay, and so it is. And that's the way it is. So I look forward to seeing you again the next time I do one of our virtual talks, and we'll talk more about the creative process then. Until then, enjoy more of that percentage of goodness that is the result of that spiritual mind treatment I gave. And so it is.